All right, while y'all come in, let me watch some TV. Let me watch some TV. The new TV is your phone. The new TV is YouTube, TikTok, all these different things. But put your birth date in the chat. Put your birthday in the chat. Let's reveal what your birthday says about you. Put your birthday in the chat. Put your birthday in the chat. They got going on YouTube. Put your birth date in the chat. We will read a little bit about your birth chart to tell you what your birth date reveals about you. Whether you believe it or not, you live in a world based upon frequency, and what you tune into frequently becomes your frequency. So you might be tuned into certain things that you may not even be aware of that's not serving you. So when I read your birth chart, don't be offended by what's about to happen. Just be open to experience, to listen, because all possibilities exist in the same realm. All right. So since I got people putting it in the chat already, I'm going to get started. I was about to play a YouTube video. Let us watch some YouTube, but put your birth date in the chat. All right. Both of y'all put your birth date in the chat, so I'm not going to be able to tell who I should choose. So I got to do it this way. When I say it again, even though you put it in the chat already, when I say put your birth date in the chat, I'm going to give a countdown. 3, 2, 1. Put your birth date in the chat. The first birthday that I see goes in the chat. Whether you put it in there or not, before, drop it again or put it in the chat again, all right? And that's the one that I'm going to go with. So 3, 2, 1. Put your birth date in the chat. Put your birth date in the chat. The first birthday that comes up right here, I'm going to read about it. Once again, what's the importance of doing this? Well, we could all agree that we have the things that we have in our lives because of the things that we've done, because of the things that we know. So we have what we have because of what we know, right? And we are where we are because of the things that we know. But we're not where we want to be because of the things that we don't know. Even myself. So I'm not saying I'm higher than anyone. I'm just letting you know this is how I discovered this for myself. Being able to have awareness around things that I may not know. I absorb that information. I grow bigger. When I grow, right, everything else around me grows. So if I become more of accountable to my intentions, then that means the same thing with everything else involved. That means my intentions with my significant other. That means it's intentions with my money. So everything becomes better just by me working on me. All right. So I see, what is that? May 8th? May 8th? Let's see. May 8th. Do y'all need me to get the incense? Y'all need me to get the incense and the oils? Or y'all good? Let me know. Are y'all familiar which incense to get? I'm going to tell y'all right now, my favorite one is patchouli. I might have to burn something. My favorite one is patchouli. All right, so here are the rules. Here are the rules. When we're doing this reading of the chart, first of all, this is what I want. I want everybody to send this live out to somebody who may seem like, to somebody who may think or see this as valuable, all right? Don't send this to just random people. Go into your send list, send this out to somebody who you may think is valuable. While you're doing that, I can go ahead and go get an incense and then start that up, right? So I only have one left. I only have one left. I only have one patchouli incense left. I don't know if I want to burn this just yet. I only got one patchouli incense just left. So let me hold on to this for now. But this is the incense that y'all want to get, right? Not the little small ones. You need the extendo. Okay, you need the extendo. So this could burn for at least 2 hours. Your whole house smelling like heaven. Your whole house smell like a cloud of heaven. You understand? All right, let's get it. Is it Angela or Angel? May 8th. The May 8th Taurus. The May 8th Taurus. This is the day of the outspoken spokesperson. Woo! Wait a minute. Outspoken spokesperson. This is the day of the outspoken spokesperson. So already, I know that you're trouble. I know your mouth gets you in trouble. Already, I know when you was a kid, you probably got in trouble because of your mouth. Already. Doesn't mean that you get in trouble now. Angela. My mom, her name was Angela. So shout out to the Angelas. My niece, her name is Angela. Shout out to the Angelas. All right. So the day of the outspoken spokesperson. So we're going to actually talk about that and get into it. I'm going to read one paragraph based upon the initial thoughts of who this person is. As I'm going through this, please don't feel attacked. Please don't feel like I'm coming at you personally, because we both know I do not know you personally. We both know I do not know your circumstances. We both understand that I was not there with you in your relationship. So please don't feel offended. We are talking about the May 8th Taurus. We are talking about the Taurus of May 8th, and this is the day of the outspoken spokesperson. All right, we are talking about this person. We're going to go into the strengths and the weaknesses, and then we'll get into the advice as well as the meditation. Now, the truth about this is weaknesses also contain strengths, because weaknesses are just the underdeveloped strength. When you realize that everything else is working for you in the world, you'll stop working against yourself. And most of us are working against ourselves. So reading this material allows us to see what we don't know is affecting us, right? Believe it or not, there's a way that you perceive me. Believe it or not, there's a way that somebody else perceives you, and you may not be that way. But you don't want that, right? You probably don't want that. You want people to see you for who you are. So I love that you're already chatting back in the chat, because that's what I need. Either you can send me a request to come up. You don't have to put your face out. You can just have your audio on, or you can just make sure you send complete sentences in the chat, especially if you're referring to something that was said. All right. So if you're ready, put I'm ready in the chat. I know you say you're here for. If you're ready, put I'm ready in the chat, because this right here sound powerful. Because when I added this skill to my repertoire, like in life, my finances, okay? My finances exponentially like grew. And here's why. Because communication is a spiritual thing. There's 4 levels of business, right? The highest level of business is the imagination. Most of y'all know about this. The highest level is imagination. It's imagination, then it's communication. But the communication level is where you start to peek through, where you can get that wealth, where that real wealth is being built. And then right under there, there's managerial, which is like the unification. And then there's the person that just implements things. So just to give you an understanding of that levels of value, the person who created Uber, that person was the person that used the imagination. So that person gets paid the most money, and they have the most impact. Right, so they have the most income and have the most impact. They only spend about 20% of their time in working on things, and then the 80% of the time they're enjoying their lives, because they understand the 20-80 rule, or the 80-20 rule, however you like to look at it. That rule is very crucial to your life, whether you know it or not. And the person that's the implementer, the person that's driving Uber, they're not the person who created the idea. So they don't have as much money as the person who created the idea. They don't have as much impact, even though they're the person performing the service and implementing the service, because we already know that the implementation level is the lowest level of value, right? So the person driving Uber, they get the least amount of income, the least amount of impact. After you get out your car, you don't remember who drove you, right? You don't even know who that is. But they do the most work. Like, that could be you. You could be at your job where you do the most work and you feel overworked and underpaid. Those are the people that's still bound by time. Right? They spend 80% of their time working, meaning they only have the weekends off. That's 20% of their time. So they work 80% of their time and only enjoy themselves 20% of the time. So when Sunday hits, they can't even wait till Friday comes. You get what I'm saying? All right. So the reason why we say that is because most people are unaware that those paradigms exist in the same spectrum. So I just said that to get us ahead of ourselves, right? Because sometimes we fall behind and we need to catch up. So this is that thing. Let me grab my glasses. Let's get right into it. Yes, I'm what they called me. When I was young, they used to call me a jiggy nerd. So this is like dating myself, because the word jiggy is like such an old term. But I never understood that till now. Anyway, I guess I'm the flyest nerd you ever seen, baby. All right, so those born on May 8th are not all reticent about expressing their ideas and concerns. They are outspoken, forceful, opinionated, tending to verbal statements, but often adept with written word as well. So already, what are we learning about the May 8th Taurus? What are we learning about this person who represents the day of outspoken spokesperson? Well, already they're not shy about sharing their feelings, their ideas, their concerns, especially their concerns, right? So what it says is that they're opinionated. They tend to be verbal, or they can be the ones that write. So why is this important to know about the May 8th Taurus? Why? Because if you have a woman, or if you have a girlfriend, and I guess in this case, I'll speak from the other side. If you have a man and you don't express them, he doesn't know your signs, he might not understand your natural tendencies. Your natural tendency is to be outspoken. He might take that as a sign of disrespect and say, oh, you're just saying stuff. You calling me out or whatever. And that may not be your case. But being that you're outspoken, you might just respond in rebuttal too. So when you respond in rebuttal too, now y'all arguing about something that was so petty and so little that could have just been moved. Because even though he didn't understand your sign, you probably didn't understand his sign. That's why this is important. Whether we believe it or not, this stuff exists. So let's take a deep dive and uncover it and see if it's true. So what I want, excuse me, hold on. What I want you to do, goddess, is this. I want you to tell me if that's accurate to what you have experienced. The reason why I want you to do that is because I want other people to get something from your work too. So it's not just about you and I working together. This is about sharing our knowledge, right? So just let us know if it's accurate or not. Let's continue to read. They say they are comfortable when preserving established values. Okay, so right there, I'm going to be honest. It's a red flag. You're a red flag. The May 8th Taurus, the day of the outspoken spokesperson, like I said, just from the title, the subtitle alone, you might be a problem in your relationship. Now, I'm not going to only say negative things. I'm going to say positive things or things that will be beneficial. None of it's really negative. It's all just notification. So if you look at it as negative, then it won't serve you. Just understand that, all right? So very accurate. You've been with your spouse for almost 22 years. Wow. Snap it up and clap it up, because you don't have to be with a person for that long. And if you do, and if you are, you're choosing that. And that's real love. You love that person. So shout out to you. 100% shout out to you. So when we think about this, right, when we think about the May 8th Taurus, as it says that they're comfortable with preserving their values, you're most likely the traditional person. This is what they would call traditional woman, right? You take values from the past and you want to hold on to them. Things that your mom have given you or your dad, you hold on to things that may be sentimental, right, and value. So when we're talking about the May 8th Taurus, the day of the outspoken spokesperson, listen to what it's saying. It's saying sometimes even reviving ancient ones, right? When we're talking about the polished traditions, you like to revive ancient ones, which could be great. Because why? Because you're also supportive. Being that you're outspoken, you're also supportive to your significant other. So if something amazing happens while you two are together, you're the type to bring it up later on and acknowledge them for it, and they might feel good, like, damn, that's my boo right there. Yeah, she remember this, because you are that type of person where you probably collect photo albums, right? You probably collect photo albums. Some people might look at you and say, why do you collect all of these things? You might look at them and say, well, I like to think about this and remember. There's all sorts of great things, but everything exists on the same spectrum, okay? So all paradigms exist on the same spectrum. One of the things that it says I love about you already is this: not afraid to take action. So the May 8th Taurus, the day of the outspoken spokesperson, by default, you make a great partner. By default, in that way. Yes, you can still get into trouble in your relationships. We all can. But what I'm saying is that just by that trait alone, like not afraid to take action, that means you're not afraid to go after what you want. So therefore, you most likely will not settle. That's a person that somebody does want to have. All right, so we're getting some feedback in the chat, and you say you keep greeting cards, photos, everything that's sentimental. 100%. We can see you. We can see you. Don't worry. You appreciated, loved, and seen. We see you. All right. So it says they will make use of modern means and advancements in technology, but will always carry the tradition. So basically that's saying now that photos are on the phone or on a digital product, you might more so use the digital product now, but still keeping the older tradition. So being that you would like to collect photos, it's just instead of a photo album, it's probably in the phone now, right? So that's just what they're saying there. But let's slide over to the strengths and the weaknesses. So the strengths of the May 8th Taurus is they're prudent, right? They're convincing, they're caring. Weaknesses, they're over serious. Oh, yeah. This right here will get you in trouble sometimes. And when we talk about relationships, we're not only talking about romantic, we're also throwing in there platonic, because the way you do one thing is how you almost do everything. Therefore, with the other person, whether it's a relationship that's romantic or not, a lot of these things could still play a factor, right? Wow, 5 SD cards. Wow. All right. So over serious, judgmental, authoritarian. These are the things that we have to watch out for. Yes, you may be outspoken. Yes, you may be a person that would take action, but be cautious to not be so over serious when you include other people in it. Like, you're the type to hold people to an expectation, but I don't want you to hold people to expectation. I want you to have standards. Expectations are what you put onto yourself. So if other persons put on expectations to themselves, just have a standard. So my standard is I want a partner who doesn't sleep. My standard is I want a partner who understands I'm an entrepreneur and I need to network with people and have other people call me and be on calls. I need to make sure that my significant other knows how to make up the bed. I know these are not things that we speak about, but these are things that break down relationships, right? Because when you finally get together, there's all of these pet peeves that pop out at you. And now when you got these pet peeves, you're ready to get rid of this person because of all the things that annoy you, but you could have found out ahead of time. How come you're not making up the bed, honey? I told you to make up the bed. You got to keep arguing with them. Oh, why you don't put your dishes away? Why you keep leaving dishes in the sink? You want to be with someone who already has that expectation on themselves. That is your standard. All right, so there's a difference between standard and expectations. But let's go over to the advice. Put your birth date in the chat. If you want me to reveal what your birth chart says about you, put your birth date in the chat. So the advice for the May 8th Taurus, the day of outspoken spokesperson, brighten up a bit. Brighten up a bit. Learn to be more playful, even silly sometimes. Laugh with yourself, but without deprecation. What is that saying? What that says is that you go above and beyond for other people. What that says is that you're the one that does everything for people in your family, or you're the one that people call on in the family, right? But who's doing it for you? And what are you doing for you? When it says brighten up a bit, this has to sit in a little bit, because you're such an amazing person to other people, but you're your own toughest critic. You're your own toughest critic. So brighten up a little bit. Give yourself some grace. Give yourself some grace, because you are so powerful. Everything that you had to learn to survive, you have to now unlearn to succeed. We understand that principle, but sometimes we don't actually apply it. We have to start applying it. So the advice to you is to learn to be more playful. How could you do that? You need practice by just being playful. You know, ask your husband, just, hey, sit down with me and let's do some things. Play Connect 4, play patty cake, or whatever it is. Do something that you normally wouldn't do, but be silly with your significant other, right? So temper your sarcasm and come down off your throne. Occasionally admitting weakness and vulnerability is important. So on this outside, you got this glorious way of being, and everybody sees you as this high level individual. But I don't want you to be so busy looking good that you forgot about how great you truly are. Like, I used to be so busy being good that I've forgotten about my greatness. That's what inspired me to write this book. When good is no longer good enough. Becoming more effective in less time. When good is no longer good enough. All right? So if you already have a great relationship, you already have things going for you, that's amazing. You should. You're a goddess, right? Like you are a creator. But how to enhance what you have is very paramount to your life, right? How to enhance this, how to continue to have your relationship going with your husband, how to continue to make your family proud and prosperous, then you have to look inward. So the meditation that it gives you is this. Nothing is by chance. Everything happens because it has to, which makes me understand the connection in the two, right? Because when it's telling you to brighten up and learn to be more playful, it means that sometimes you get thrown out or thrown off of your course because you think that this is something where they would say life is life, and you think that this is something that doesn't belong in your script of your movie, of your life. But the truth of it is not happening by chance. Nothing is by chance. Everything happens because it has to. So in order to get you to the destination that you really want, you have to go through these challenges of preparation. So the challenges of preparation may be harder than what you think. So for example, you want to get to a high level income earning status. Sometimes you might have to learn what it feels like to be broke. And if you didn't learn your lesson, you keep going through the testing. But you start to understand the testing and you perform through it, you get the lesson, then you get the blessing. So when you say, why am I in this situation? You're in this situation because it's preparation for your elevation, right? It's preparation for your destination. So your strengths of being prudent, convincing, and caring, these are all great strengths. But your weaknesses, these are the things that you will have to watch out for because they're subtle and you may not realize them, right? Over serious. When you're being over serious, you know that you're serious, but you just want to show people that you're not playing around. But sometimes you don't have to do it the way that you do it. Why? Because sometimes you're judgmental, right? Your weakness is judgmental. Or sometimes you come off as being the leader of everybody. Like, I'm quite sure when you go out, you're like the mom of the group. I'm quite sure when you see your husband, you touching his face, making sure nothing's on his face. You saying stuff to him. Hey, baby, fix your shirt, or do this or do that. And to you, it's coming across as you're just helping, but subconsciously to other people, it's coming off as if you're demanding, right? It comes off as if you're demanding. So sometimes he might say that to you, babe, like, you're being a little demanding right now. Or he might feel like that and have to get his space. Allow him to have space. Because you're wise, you're prudent, right? You're caring, but you're also convincing. So you don't need to be so serious because people already listen to you. Like, just by being a May 8th Taurus, you are already convincing. You don't need to look to convince people. You can do it naturally. And it's not even about convincing anybody. Just by your aura, it automatically has them convincing themselves. You just got to be yourself. Remember that fun-loving self? When people see you, don't get choked up. Just be who you are. So in a summary for all of this, the May 8th Taurus, the day of outspoken spokesperson, your words are brilliant. Your words matter, whether it's written or spoken. Your words matter. So we want to encourage you to continue to speak out and give love to people, but love on yourself. Speak to yourself. Eliminate the negative self-talk that you may have. All right? Eliminate the negative self-talk that you may have. Once you can do that, once you can eliminate the negative self-talk, gold. Okay, gold. So love on yourself a little more. Eliminate the negative self-talk. Be happier about life because life is super short. And then things will start working out in your favor. But be cautious of being over serious. Be cautious of being judgmental and authoritarian. So here's the advice last time in a full paragraph. It says, brighten up a bit. Learn to be more playful, even silly sometimes. Laugh with yourself, but without deprecation. Temper your sarcasm and come down off your throne. Occasionally admitting to weakness and vulnerability is important. So make sure that you're being vulnerable with people. Make sure that you trust yourself. Trust that you can be vulnerable with others because it's not about them. It's about you. All right. And we know that you're amazing. Just by reading this, you're a courageous person. So we're going to clap it up and snap it up for you. So thank you, Goddess. We appreciate you. Somebody somewhere is going to get value from this because I'm going to post this later and they will get value. Whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Instagram, TikTok, they know you're going to get some value from what we do when we do these birthday chart readings. All right. Once again, if you're going to get the oil, go get the oil. This is the creme brulee. This is my very first oil. Literally Turned it into a business because somebody stopped me on the train and paid for my half-empty bottle that I wasn't even selling to people. It was my personal bottle. And when she said, I don't care, I'll pay full price for that half a bottle. I don't even have a price. You tell me what you paid for it. She gave me $20, and it made me realize, wow, I have something that's so magical. I have something so magical, people want what I have. So that's something about you too. You might have something so magical already that you're not looking at it that way, but these other people who come into your life, they may see you as a star and you have something that they want. This lemon zest right here, this one right here is good. This candle right here is great. I'm gonna actually talk about some other ones later. And don't forget, like I said, the patchouli. Okay, the patchouli. Make sure you get the extendo, the tall boy. All right, so this can burn for at least 2 hours for you. Your whole house smell like heaven. All right, Angela, if you have to jump off or if you have to get off, no worries. You're free to get off. Don't feel obligated to stay. If you want to stick around and hear other people, go ahead and do so. But don't feel obligated. You were amazing today. Best of the best, top of the top, cream of the crop. All right. As we wait for other people to come in, yeah. Oh, where are you? Where are you located? Got to get the extendos. Extendo is worth it. Like way better than the regular skinny minis. It's way better than those. Way better. Because at any point you could just stop these. Like if you feel like it's too much, just stop it. But if you feel like you wanted to allow it to just marinate inside your house and you feel good and feel like you're inside your sanctuary, then whew, this is it right here. Tampa, Florida. Yeah, I don't have any connects out there when it comes to the jumbos, when it comes to the extendos. But if I do come across somebody, I will let you know for sure. That's for sure. If you haven't seen my recent posts, go to my recent posts. If you need resources for growth, whether it's looking to put yourself in a position to get your credit in order, or if you want business funding, all you gotta do is reach out to me. Let me know. We can get you funded. We truly want to get you access to $100,000 and more, because the more money we get you, the more money we create for ourselves. It's literally like this. If we can help you get money and get money at the same time, then let's get money. Like that's what this is. Now, can we do it for free? Yeah, I just give you the resources that you can do it for free. But why would you want somebody to take time out of their lives to do something for free for you? Why would you want that? That's something to think about. That's something to think about. And if you want to get paid, you got to be comfortable with paying people. So that's why I pay people. I used to make $50,000 a year. And then I realized, wait a minute. It took me 12 months to make $50,000 when I could make $50,000 in 30 days or less. That's when it blew my mind. So tomorrow, if y'all on tomorrow when we go through the accountability call and decide to see you at the bank challenge, I'm gonna go through some money stubs and I'm gonna show you how easy it is to make 5-figure days, to have $20,000 checks coming to your Zelle account. Like literally, you can make more money in a lot of time. I mean, in a short amount of time than you can make a little bit of money in a long amount of time, which sounds weird, but one of my coaches told me that. He broke it down to me, and I said, how? I said, wow, he's actually accurate, because this is what I do. This is crazy. This is what I do. This is what I do. All right, drop your birth date in the chat. Put your birth date in the chat so we can reveal what your birth date means to you or what it says about you. There are things that you may not be aware of. I know we're doing it midday. You're probably at work or you're probably doing something. Well, this is just my attempt to reach somebody who we don't reach at nighttime. Usually we go live at night. I remember I've been shadow banned last month. I just got my account back. So now we're ready to go. We want to start getting people on these lives. So share these lives out. If this is impactful for you, share. If it's impactful for you, make a testimonial. Tag me in the testimonial. But let's share. Because the more I grow, the more you grow. Like, and we do have in-person events, so you can meet me in person. We do have in-person events, so you can meet your next best friend in person. So you can meet your next business partner in person. Like, so we're not just on Zooms, we're not just on social media. Okay? Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate you, Angela. 100%. We appreciate you. Yeah, absolutely. Let me see if I can get on this live. Let me see if I can get on this live. Put your birth date in the chat. If you want me to reveal what your birthday says about you, put your birth date in the chat. Hold on. Okay. Put your birthday in the chat. If you want me to reveal what your birth date says about you, put your birth date in the chat. Let me know. Put your birth date in the chat. Let me know. Put your birth date in the chat. All right, there we go. There we go. All right, so who's that? Who's Dr. Goody? Who's that? What's up? What's up? We're going to go with June 19th. June 19th. Let's see what June 19th has to offer us today. Hopefully you got your incense. If you don't, go ahead and get your incense, burn them up, because you're gonna need that good energy coming in. You're gonna need that sense of fresh aura. So please, I'm telling you right now, if y'all looking for a great scent, patchouli. Patchouli is the one. Patchouli is it for me. May not be for you, but you also want to tap into the oils. You want to tap into the oils. Like I said, someone helped me create a business just because I wore them on the trains of New York City, and they loved it so much that they said, "Let me get that." Literally had a personal bottle, was not selling it. They said, "Look, I know you only got half left. Give it to me if I'll pay you full price for it." Light bulb moment. Sometimes you have to pay attention to your surroundings. So, all right, cool. The surroundings is what's going to help you elevate. It's the things that you don't know to get you to where you want to be, right? So when I was selling, before I started selling the oils, I had no clue that this was something I was going to do. I just made oils for myself because I wanted to smell good. She told me, she said, "Give it to me. I'll pay you for it." She paid me $20 for a half a little bottle. I'm talking about half of, what is it, like a 0.5 ounce type of thing. And it made me realize I should actually sell this. I should sell this. So you have to listen to your environment too in certain ways, because you might learn something that you weren't thinking of. All right, June, right? We're in June. Where we at? June 19th, right? Put your birth date in the chat. Put your birth date in the chat. Share this live out. Share this live out. If you think that somebody else can get value from what we're going to share, share this live out. The purpose of me reading what your birth chart reveals about you is so that way you can gain the knowledge of things that you may not know that could be holding you back or could be preventing you from having the best relationships with your significant other or your family, your friends, and including yourself. So June 19th, the day of the spark. Ooh, you the spark. Like when you walk in the room. All right. So this is a Gemini. First of all, I created a list of I created a list of most hated signs, and Gemini was number one. So you got to tell me what's going on. So here are the rules. As I continue to read through, you have to express to me, let me know if this is accurate or not, because 100% will never be truly applied to anybody. However, I don't want you to focus on what doesn't apply to you. I only want you to focus on what applies to you, right? Because that is the way that we're going to focus on what are our blind spots. So engage with me in the chat. If you feel like it, you can send a request come up with me on the screen. You do not have to share your screen as far as putting your camera on, but we would love for you to use your audio. All right, if that's what you wanted to do, if that's easier, if that's more efficient for you. So let us know. All right, so the day of the spark, the Gemini of June 19th. This is about to get sparky. So June 19th, people, bring out the best and the worst in others. So before we even talk about the worst, like snap it up and clap it up for yourself, right? Because listen to what it said. This June 19th Gemini brings out the best in other people. The June 19th Gemini brings out the best in other people. So by default, you're already a good person to be around. By default, we already know. Just if you're born June 19th, June 19th, and you're a Gemini, the day of the spark, then we already know. Now, you are a gift and a curse, though. You are a gift and a curse. So you better put true down there. I see you put true, Dr. Goody. Make sure you put true for this one too, okay? Because you are a gift and a curse. You are the blessing and you are the headache. All right. And let's get into it. Let's see why. Let's uncover why. So it says, really, are they met with apathy, but elicit strong responses, even when they don't seem like to be acting in a provocative fashion. So what is that saying? Hold up, I gotta break that down really fast. It says that even though you may not be met with some sort of energy that could be adverse to you, your responses, the way that you respond to people, I'm quite sure. Dr. Goody, are you a woman or a man? Let me know, because I need to know. Your significant other probably says something to you, like your approach, like the way that you approach, and you might not be aware of it. You might feel like your approach is good, but that's why we're doing this, right? Right? To show us what we may not see, because all paradigms exist in the same spectrum. So when you believe one thing is true, it's also true that it may not be, right? So this thing when we say there's this person's truth, there's that person's truth, and then there is the truth, right? So there's like never going to be one-sided anything. So always remember that. When we look at the extendo, there's no one-sided anything, right? You can see the other side. When you look at the Becoming More Effective in Less Time book, there is another side. There's a handsome gentleman right there named Sean Crumay, also known as the Mindset Mogul. Oh, that's me. That's me. All right, so when we're talking about this June 19 Gemini, right? And when it says that your responses like can be provocative, we want you to be careful with what you say, right? We want you to be careful with what you say, because you could hurt people. Remember, it said you could bring out the best, but you could also bring out the worst. So you don't want to play around with the Gemini of June 19th. But let's just see what else it says here. Just their presence alone can be somewhat intimidating, and therefore arouse like this agonizing or agonization, right? So when you become the antagonizer, right? So I don't want to be the person that makes you think that we're being mean to you or anything. However, when we're talking about the person having antagonizing thoughts, just because of who you are, people might think you got the resting bitch face. People might think that you're mean. People might think that you're somebody who you may not be. Let me know if this sounds accurate to you in any type of way. Some people might not like you. They don't even know you yet. But then they get to know you. They say, I thought you was going to be mean. And you come to find out you're a very loving person, right? So your intense and your drive and your inspiration and your admiration, all of this right here can be intimidating to other people. So when you are being successful, your success can be intimidating to others. The reason why this is important for you to know, because you might have some of your family and friends that may not support you the way you think they should support you, right? Oh, you're my brother, so you should be on lives with me, or you should be on the call, or you should buy my product, right? So instead of thinking that way, we could see negatives as notifications and realize, wait a minute, I naturally give off this intimidating feeling to people, this intimidating presence, right? I naturally give this off. So they could just be intimidated by what I'm doing. But I have to also also listen, open up my mind to hear their side of the story and hear how they feel, what they want to do, and not put them in just my story. I have to be in their story too, right? So let's slide over to the strengths and the weaknesses, because this is where it gets dicey. This is where it gets dicey. So the Gemini of June 19th, the day of the spark, because you can spark things. You can spark and create a fire and burn down the whole house you done built, or you could spark things and have a person become that have that person think about that idea that they never really actually executed on, but to you gave them the power and the permission to be themselves. They went out and did the thing because they was inspired by you, right? So we could tell you are an inspirational individual. So the strengths say involved, persistent, challenge oriented. Wait a minute, you are a red flag. Wait 1 second, you are a red flag. The first red flag I got, Dr. Goody, was this: involved. Can your husband go to the bathroom without you saying something? I'm joking on that. I'm joking, but I'm just saying, right? Being that your strengths are involved, persistent, and challenge oriented. So you like challenges. You love challenges. So you like a man to chase you. Your husband probably was chasing you around, right? Your boyfriend or whoever it is, your fiance, he probably was chasing you around. Like, you love that because you like when people are persistent. You like people going after their goals. You were persistent. You probably was going after him. You're the one who probably got him, right? Because you're so involved. But every strength could be a weakness, and every weakness could be a strength, because weaknesses are just underdeveloped strengths. And strengths are usually acquired by us going through issues. So everything you had to learn to survive, you probably now have to unlearn to succeed, because it no longer serves you in those realms. Let's just discover it. Let's just see. So when you're involved, you like to be hands-on. Let me get this. Let me know in the chat. You rather do something because if you do it, it gets done right. If somebody else does it, you're like, oh man, I don't know if you did it right. Like, y'all know what I'm talking about. If you have children, hey, you give you some chores today. You gotta clean the bathroom. They go in there and they clean the bathroom. You're like, this ain't how you clean, and let me show you how to do this. And now you show them how to do it, right? Like, that's what I'm talking about, involved. But the way you do one thing is how you do almost everything. So you're involved also into your significant other's decision making. So you're giving your input too much sometimes in your significant other's decision making. And this could be something that could be overbearing. Now let's find out if I'm making this up or if this is accurate based upon the advice and the weaknesses. So let's go to the weaknesses first, and then we go over to the advice. So the weakness is provocative, troubled, unaware. That, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, just listening to that weakness, that's wow. That's a wild weakness to have compared to your strength. You are hot and cold. Like, you're a hot and cold person. Like you're night and day. Sometimes you're, oh my gosh, you're like that Sour Patch. You're the Sour Patch commercial. You're a Sour Patch Kid. At first you're sour, then you're sweet. It's like, if they don't know you, don't say nothing to me because I can't flow you. Don't say nothing to me. I don't know who you are. But if they do know you, like the sweetest person, like that makes sense now. When I said the statement I said earlier, when I was like, people might think that, you might be mean before they meet you because you got the rested bitch face on, right? And don't be offended by anything that I'm saying, y'all. I'm not looking to be offensive in any type of way. And I'm really not talking to Dr. Goody. I'm talking to the May 19th, the June 19th Gemini. Now, if the shoe fits, you just got to wear it a little bit and adjust it, take the shoes off, and put some new ones on. That's the case, all right? Right. Yeah, when they say they know you, that's when they say you're super sweet, because you are, but you're very protective of yourself and your energy. But you being very protective of yourself and your energy, it makes you provocative. It makes you say certain things that stir people up, right? So while your younger days, you were probably getting into arguments a lot with people in your younger days. Right now, you probably don't. You probably should be fanning them all. Like, nah, I don't got time for that. Go ahead. But when they say troubled is starting to show to me as a reflection. So your outward outspokenness to other people sounds like a backlash. It sounds like the reason why you're outspoken to other people in these ways is not to be disrespectful, but to stand up for yourself, which I did mention to you earlier, that the same things you had to learn to survive. You must now unlearn to succeed. That ideology, you must unlearn that if you haven't already. But if you did, shout out to you because you gain awareness on that. And that's the purpose of us doing this exercise and being on live right now. It also said you're unaware. So you're unaware of how your voice may affect other people. You're unaware of how your energy may affect other people. You're unaware of how you can walk into the room being that you got the energy and confidence that you can intimidate somebody else who doesn't have the energy and confidence. Which also means that when you have employers or employees, rather, be careful because you can come off as, well, I know how to do it, so you should know how to do it. And this is something I had to learn for myself because to me, this stuff is easy. Like, this is easy. I don't know you, but I can know all of these things, right? To me, this is easy. But that's why they call me the mindset mogul and they don't call him the mindset mogul, right? So I have to not think that he has to do what I do, right? I don't have to think that she needs to acquiesce to what I do because she's an individual. He's an individual. I'm an individual. No one's going to think like me. No one's going to be like me. My experiences are the ones that allow me to think this way. So remember that, okay? So let's go into the advice. So let's see what's going on. Let's see if all of this can connect. It says, for the advice, it says, be a bit more contemplative. Wait a minute. Be a bit more contemplative. I'm not even going to read the context clues. I'm just listening to everything that we've said already. And then that first statement, like, why would that be the first statement? Because you make impulsive decisions and you say things without thinking about them. How much has that cost you? Be honest to yourself. How much has that cost you just saying things without thinking about them? Because you got to remember, y'all, whether you feel right in your heart or not, whether you feel just in your heart or not, when you vocalize something in a negative way, you're going to get the energy back because your lifestyle is your mindset turned inside out. So what's happening to you that you're experiencing on the external is evolved and created and increases through the internal. So if you're shouting at other people, it's because you do it to you. So when it says be a bit more contemplative, I want you to see in which ways do you need to just slow it down? In which ways do you just need to breathe before you respond, right? Because the June 19th Gemini has a weakness of being provocative, but has the strength of being involved. So sometimes you get involved with people and you're too provocative and it forces them to feel some type of way about whatever you mentioned to them, whatever you said to them. So as we continue to read the advice, it says, avoid getting locked into any one orientation or role because you probably get bored, right? If you get locked into one role. So how many positions you have or how many career positions have you had? How many jobs have you had? Is it a lot or is it the same job over time? Like, what is that about? Let me know. Let me know. All right. So as I continue to read, it says this. It says, stay in touch with the feelings of others and remain open to compromise. So this is what we were alluding to earlier, right? This is what we were alluding to earlier. So that's good that you have multiple businesses because they want you to do that. That's what keeps you busy. But absolutely, sweet. Great job on coming on and sharing your thoughts and engaging. We appreciate you. So, Dr. Goody, for you, just in the chat, let us know how could you be more receptive to other people's feelings? Like being a businesswoman, your boss babe or a baddie or just an entrepreneur, right? It's sometimes as a business owner, we don't want to do a lot of fluff. We just want to tell you exactly what to do and just do it. But we also like for people to take initiative, like to be the real AI. Would the real AI please stand up? Can we have you be assertive and take initiative to do things that we don't necessarily have to speak about? Like if you see this on the floor, pick it up, right? Talk to your child. Come on, you got your shoes in the hallway in the middle of the door. People got to walk it. To us, that's naturally like you should be courteous of other people. Naturally, that's it. But that's not everybody's thinking. So which things do you need to woosah about and just let go and really just give people more grace, because that's what it's basically saying. Like, give yourself grace and give everyone else grace. You don't have to be so serious. It's great to be curious, but don't be so serious you become delirious. Don't be so serious that you become delirious thinking that other people think like you, thinking that other people would do what you would do. Like, you probably say this to people: that's not what I would have done. I would have done this for you. They're not you. You have to accept the fact that they're them. Now, this is where you have to make a decision, y'all. Your circumstances are based on the circle that you're standing in. So if you want to change the way you interact and change these experiences with people, you have to change the people. You have to change the circle. Don't be afraid to. So also, the last part is the meditation. I think this sums it all up, right? So this is the meditation that you would do to get the downloads today. So if you want to get the downloads from everything that we've spoken about, because this is how it works, y'all. You get information, but everything that you receive doesn't need to be necessarily into your mind and into your life. So you have to do a filtering process. The filtering application process is meditation. So when you do meditation, you filter in things that only align with what you truly want. When you don't do meditation, all the thoughts just stay there and you just randomly grab a thought. You ever said something that you typically wouldn't say? You ever gotten upset and it's like, damn, that's not like me? Or you ever broken one of your rules that you've been so consistent with? It's because of that part, right? If we did the meditation, then the thoughts that truly are in alignment will settle and filter in, and we can discard the things that don't work for us. So if anybody needs help with that, take down this this formula, 3-step formula: assess, assign, align. So what you want to do is you want to assess your life, see what's workable, see what's non-workable. Because it's not about right and wrong, it's about what's workable and not workable. Now you get rid of everything that's non-workable, even if you're attached to it, even if you love it, even if you don't want to give it up, right? You know how when you got that special someone and you know it's just not right, you just waiting for something to blow up, instead of just taking your time to go off and do something different and express to your lover that you're having issues and let's see how we can work together. You must give yourself an assignment, right? After you assess what you don't want, you must give yourself an assignment. You need to follow the assignment. So you must be in alignment with your assignment, right? Assess, assign, align. And this formula will always work, especially when it comes to relationships. If you're getting into an argument with someone, you will use this to help gain your clarity in your thoughts. And so that way you can express yourself better. Because if you get heated in the moment, you might say some stuff that you don't mean. And then that can hurt you. And being that you're an outspoken person, being that you're the day of the spark, you might stand on that. Like, you ever get into an argument with somebody, you said something you didn't really want to say, but since they challenged it, you standing on it now? You double down on it? Okay, I know I'm not the only one that realized that was a mistake, okay? So the meditation is: don't race a cheetah, don't box a kangaroo. Why would that be beneficial to know? What would the analogy be in this? Well, you already know a cheetah is fast. You shouldn't race a cheetah. Why shouldn't you race the cheetah? Because chances are you might not win. And it's not that don't play games that you might not win. It's a pride thing, right? Like when we look at the weaknesses, it's troubled and unaware. So I'm unaware that if I race this cheetah, not only am I going to lose, but I'm going to probably hurt myself because I'm doing something that's out of alignment with my assignment. Let me not box this kangaroo, because while I'm thinking about boxing this kangaroo, guess what? The kangaroo done tricked you. The kangaroo is not going to actually box you with his hands. So you're watching things and you're expecting something from somebody else. And what happens when you have expectations? Maybe this is going over your head, but I'm breaking this down so eloquently, y'all. Like, this is right here. This is crazy right here. Think about what I'm saying. If it says don't box a kangaroo, like you're looking to box the kangaroo, these are your expectations. But the kangaroo is not going to hit you with the left or the right. The kangaroo is going to drop kick you. And that's what expectations do. When you have expectations on people, you think that they're going to hook the left or the right, but then they drop kick you. And now you're disappointed, like, oh, I wasn't ready for that. Making sense? Or am I just being delusional? All right. So that's part of the meditation. So just get comfortable with this. Eliminate expectations on others, but be open to their feelings and be open to compromising, because you're the star of your story. They're the star of their story. But when they come together, they co-star. And guess what? They may very well be the background extra in their own story. But by you being the star of your story and having empathy and understanding to allow people to share their feelings, guess what? They might come from out of being behind the shadows on their own story and shine their light and stand as the star in their story because you did. That's how powerful you are as a June 19th Gemini. You are the day of the spark. So remember, your power is a gift and a curse. And if you don't use it as a gift, guess who gets cursed? Because your gifts will give you your gold. Everybody put your birth date in the chat. If you want me to do your birthday, put the birth date in the chat. If you want me to speak on what your birth date reveals to you based upon astrological science, we're talking about astronomy, and astrology rather. We want you to go ahead and put your birthday in the chat. Go ahead and put your birthday in the chat. I'm gonna go 3, 2, 1. Depending on how you, it doesn't matter if you put your birthday in the chat already. After I say 3, 2, 1, put your birthday in the chat. I want you to put it in again if you put it in already. But the first one I see is the first person I'm going with. That's how I make it even, right? But before I do that, was that helpful in any way, Dr. Goody? Did you get something out of that? Because your strengths are involved, persistent, and challenge oriented. So keep up the challenges, because without a challenge, you don't have a champion, right? Be involved, because it takes your inner work. So understand that you are already in alignment with your assignment, but you have to stay on the watch. If this was impactful for you anyway, screenshot this, tag me on your stories. Put like a 1 to 3 word summary, or just put a sentence in there, whatever, how you feel. But let other people know. Don't be selfish. Maybe somebody else can get something from this. All right, 3, no problem. 3, 2, 1. Put your birth date in the chat. Put your birth date in the chat. The first person I see from this moment on, I will go with that birthday. So if you put it in the chat already, put it in now. Put your birth date in the chat. Once again, the reason why doing this is important, you don't have to do this. You can live your life without doing this. But the reason why this benefits you is because you have what you have because you are who you are. If you're going to get something different, you have to become somebody different than who you are. So you have what you have because of the things that you know. But you're not where you want to be because of the things that you do not know. That's the whole purpose of education. That's the vehicle to get us closer to the things that we do want. So when I'm going through this, we have to uncover some blind spots that may be holding us back from getting to where we want to be. If that makes sense, put make sense in the chat. If it's fluff, put fluff in the chat. I don't want you to please me. What I'm doing is sharing things that I know, but I'm also learning at the same time, y'all. Like, I'm learning. Like, I don't know everything that's in this book, but I'm learning as we go. So you're teaching me, and I'm giving you examples of experiences that could be possible, because we understand that all paradigms exist in the same spectrum. So in your paradigm, you may feel like today, right now, is 1 p.m. In somebody else's paradigm, that is not true. 1 p.m. passed a long time ago, or 1 p.m. didn't even hit yet. You got my heart racing. I thought I was late for my appointment, right? If you know, so I want you to understand, it's 11. It's 1:11, y'all. Make a wish. It's 1:11. If you really want to get crazy, Dr. Goody, go check angel numbers 111 right now and see if that applies to your specific situation. Like, I don't even know what's going on in your life. I just know that if you look at 111 right now, being that we had this powerful impact, I'm quite sure that that will represent something powerful in your life. I'm quite sure. So check that out and let us know. So go do it and then come back to the chat and let us know. Anybody else? Put your birth date in the chat. Put your birth date in the chat. Put your birth date in the chat. Dang, I was looking like Clark Kent when I came out the glasses, right? Gee, I might have to do that now. Surprise y'all. Like, who this nerd up here? Yeah, let me take these off. Yeah, baby, what's up? All right, what we got? What we got? January 25th. January 25th. 25th or 25th? Which one? If you do say 25th, you gotta tell me how many F's you put on there for emphasis. Like when people be like mouth, like you all in my mouth, get out my mouth. Pause that, y'all. Pause that. All right, cool. January 25th, the day of destiny. Wow. And we ain't talking about Beyonce. Day of destiny, baby. The day of destiny. This is the Aquarius, the January 25th, the day of destiny, January 25th. All right, let's get right into it. So the day of destiny, those born on January 25th are adapt to lead difficult but interesting and rewarding lives. Okay, that's making sense. That's making sense. She said fifth, but she put a bunch of F's in there. Fifth. Okay. So that's the emphasis right there. So I want to emphasize a point right here where it says you're adept to lead a difficult but interesting and rewarding life. So the Aquarius of January 25th, we want you to realize that you will have your day of destiny. You will have your day of destiny, but your destiny will not arrive without some sort of distraction, without some sort of discomfort, without some sort of disorder. So don't freak out about it. Like it's part of your story. Like in any story, there's a hero and they have to deal with something that would be catastrophic or something that would be challenging, but that's how they get their glory. Like as I mentioned before, your story will give you your glory. So don't be afraid to go through what you're going through because you will get through what you're going through. So the next line says, often their personal fortunes rise and falls with that of society and times. So all that means is that you go with the flow of what's happening in life, right? So let us know if these things are accurate or not so we can understand how it's applying to you. So let us know. It says those born on this day who wish to remain stable through periods of social turmoil and upheaval must cultivate great willpower. So obviously, you know that your life is going to be difficult. It's going to be interesting, but it's going to also be rewarding. You have to make sure that you realize all you got to do is just get through it. Cultivate the willpower. So it says, but too often the nervousness of the January 25th people are not up to the challenge. See, more than most individuals, it seems as if they are alternatively punished. So what I want you to think is that you? Do you feel like the things that are happening into your life right now is based upon you being punished for something? It doesn't necessarily mean that you are. It just says January 25th individuals think that way. People who are born on January 25th, the day of destiny, the Aquarius, the January 25th Aquarius. So it says, but more, oh, I read that already. More than most individual. Yep, I read that already. All right, so the next part, it says this. It's the last statement. It says, it is important that they never allow for victimized mentality, but remain dynamic and active. Because part of your journey is that you will be pushed down, right? Part of your journey is that you will be pushed down, but but you being pushed down is not here to hurt you. It's here to help you. Because since you just go with the flow of life, if you didn't have these challenges, you probably wouldn't rise to the occasion. But being that you have the challenges, it could make you go one or two ways. It could make you feel like you want to not do it or pursue it. You probably feel like you're an introvert, or you probably feel like you have anxiety. But this is just coming from the thoughts that you could be running away from. All right. So let's move over to the strengths. The strength says you are talented, interesting. The weaknesses says you're self-defeating and unstable. That makes a lot of sense. If you go with the flow, that makes a lot of sense. It's going to seem like some days where you are super talented, you get rewarded, and your life is very interesting, you're having fun. And then you're going to have these days where you feel bored, where you feel discouraged, you feel like things are not working in your favor. But the truth of the matter is, it's all working for you, right? So the Aquarius of January 25th, your strength is being talented, interesting. Your weaknesses are self-defeating and unstable. So let's see what the advice says. The advice says never give up. So first of all, I love that because you need that reinforcement. If you are in a relationship with the Aquarius of January 25th, they love reassurance. They want reassurance. And sometimes if they don't have reassurance, they could be negative self-talking, self-deprecating, right? So we want to make sure that we give them some love and we say, never give up, all right? Recognize what is happening. We want you to confront the truth of the situation, but keep the fight. Like, keep fighting for yourself is what they want you to do. Because you may wish that somebody would fight for you because of your ability to fight for others, but they want you to fight for you. They want you to have words of affirmation for you, even though it's great for other people to say it. But let's eliminate your negative self-talk because you're the type of person that has a lot of negative self-talk. Like, you're very sweet and kind and you're shy and you're with other people until they get to know you. Then they realize there's a whole other side of you. We want you to be that whole other side naturally, not when they get to know you. Like, not after they get to know you, because you're missing opportunities for people to get to know you because of the representative that you're bringing, right? Because you're very talented, you're super interested. A lot of people like you, they want to be around you, but there's something that you're afraid of. There's something that you're holding back on. I don't want you to hold back on this, right? So the Aquarius of January 25th, please understand these things may not necessarily affect each and every one of you, but what it can do is it can show you a way that you should be aware of, right? Because all of these ways lead to a certain result. So recognize what is happening, confront the truth of the situation, but keep fighting for yourself. We want you to learn to push, and we want you to learn when to pull. See, we want you to also learn when to do nothing, keeping your spirits high and your eyes on the future. Change could actually be your friend. Put it in the chat. I want you to understand something. Change could actually be your friend. You might be afraid of change. That makes sense now. Okay, I got it. So that makes sense. Being afraid of change is why you might be unstable, why you might be self-defeating, because you might beat yourself up, right? That negative self-talk is coming from you're not sure. The reason why you need the words of affirmation because you like what we will call security. You like assurity. You like to be assured, but in life there's no true security. So you kind of feel like you need to have somebody there to give you that. That's fine. But the truth of the matter is, if one thing exists in this spectrum, the other thing can exist. We all know that. If you're hungry right now, doesn't mean you're hungry all the time. You may be full right now, but somebody else may be hungry. The easiest way to see this is that it's daytime here and it's nighttime there. But it's not like it's daytime everywhere and it's nighttime everywhere. It's both happening at the same time. If y'all want to get crazy, spell it both. Put a bunch of F's on there for emphasis. All right? So because sometimes we make up these situations and these scenarios as if they're super real, right? So there's the truth from one person, like this, that person's truth. There's another person's truth, and then it's the truth. So if it's more than one side of something, that means it's more than one possibility for something to occur, right? Let me read what you put into the chat. You say you're a nurse. You're in the process of going independent, but you're scared. So you find yourself jumping to apply for a job to encourage others to go hard, but you doubt yourself. You just need somebody else to motivate you. And that's why you yearn for the affection, because you put words of affirmation is something that's important to you, but acts of touch and service is also something important to you as well. Let me know if that's accurate. Are acts of touch and acts of service, is that something that is important to you? Let us know. I'm thinking it is. Just based upon the conversation, I'm thinking that it is. And when you don't get that, you don't feel like yourself. Meaning that when you're being loved, you're at your best when you're being loved. Like, if you are going through a breakup with your partner or going through a rough patch with your partner, everything else is going to suffer suffer in your life because you just go with the flow with everything. Like you have to create your own flow going forward. All right, create your own flow going forward. Put your birth date in the chat. If you want me to reveal what your birth chart says about you, put your birth date in the chat. It has a meditation here. I'm gonna read the meditation, and I'm gonna come back to the advice and read the advice read the advice the whole way through one time, and then that'll be the wrap up on that. But once again, the weaknesses are self-defeating and unstable. So we want to work on self-sabotaging. Like a lot of your relationships, you probably self-sabotage. Are you married right now? Are you with someone? What's your relationships like romantically? Your strengths are talented and interesting, so you must see yourself as talented. You must see yourself as interesting because this is not about us seeing you. This is about you seeing you. All right, you want to stay single for a while, or you want to be in a relationship. Everybody wants to be loved. We understand that, but you don't have to be with somebody because you're an individual. You're not made to have to be with somebody. So don't let the pressures of society tell you, oh, if you're single, there's something wrong with you. No, if you think like that, there's something wrong with you. All right. So it's just a choice. And when you're single, you still could be with other partners. So it's not that it means anything, but it's just a choice. All right. And in fact, the truth of the matter is most people don't know where marriage came from. Everybody wants to get married. They might cancel me for this on here, but you can't cancel me out here in real life. So marriage is basically stemmed from sex trafficking, right? Marriage stems from sex trafficking. They used to sell off their daughters to strange men, sell off their young daughters to strange men in exchange for land, monies, and other gifts and favors. Okay, that's where marriage comes from. So marriage is beneficial to the kingdom. So inside of a place like America, it's still a kingdom, but they act like they got presidents and all this other stuff going on. But in reality, all this is right is a corporation. So the corporation needs you to get married because you produce more children. And when you produce more children, you make more employees for the corporation. Don't say I told you that. You already knew it. But maybe you feel like that has nothing to do with what we're talking about here, but it has everything to do with what we're talking about here. So in the meditation, we want you to do this. Fate and deeds cast a long shadow, but keep your own light shining. So during the midst of these dark days, shine your light, because it took some of my darkest days for me to shine my light, for me to know my light, for me to actually acknowledge my light. And now I'm super successful because of all the things that I let go on in my life that I've overcame, like losing both of my parents growing up, 7 different schools, 9 years, gastroesophageal reflux disease, beating cancer. All of these things matter because I could have given up every single time those things happened to me. But I didn't think that it was happening to me. I thought that it was happening for me. So everything that happened, it happened for me. Like if I didn't lose my dad, my first dad, my mom wouldn't have remarried and had twins, and those became my brothers. And then those brothers, we done created $20 million in family wealth for our next generations to be prosperous. Think about that. So I didn't complain and go, why did this happen to me? No, I embraced it because everything happens in the same spectrum. Everything is happening here right now. You're one move away from being the best version of yourself, but you're also one move away from being a worse version of yourself. So that's why we're saying this stuff. We're saying this to you so you can acknowledge the power that you do have. Because if you are negatively self-talking, there's a way where you can be positively self-talking, right? If there's a way where you might feel like things aren't working for you, well, guess what? In the same spectrum, something exists that will work for you. And that's why I'm going through this, because I don't know what's going to work for anybody. I don't know who's going to get on these lives. I don't know. All I know is if I'm consistent to get on these lives, somebody else is going to get on these lives, and they're going to also see the ability to transform their lives, period. All right? So inside that meditation, when it's saying fate and deeds cast a long shadow, yes, when you're going for your greatness, there are going to be some dark times. There are going to be some people that don't like you. There's going to be some people that don't follow you. There's going to be some family and friends that do you wrong. That's all going to happen. But it's not for you to get retaliation. It's not for you to get revenge. It's for you to stay the course and be in alignment with your assignment. Because everything that you're going through is preparing you to get to where you want to be. All of this struggle, these challenges are chances to show your greatness. All of these obstacles are opportunities for you to get something fantastic, for you to be present in your life, to get gifted with things. And as you can see, I'm pretty gifted with speaking about this, but this was a learned thing based upon all of the scenarios that I had. All of the scenarios that I've had, shout out to my guy Ghost, the best of the best, top of the top. My man is a tough worker right there, hard worker. So, and that's my family, it's my family, it's my guy. So one of the things that I want y'all to realize is life will always life, okay? It's going to happen. It is what it is. Embrace it. But don't let your circumstances cut you short. Just change your circle that you're standing in, all right? So let me read the advice to you one more time and straight through. It says, never give up. So you know you haven't given up just yet, so we're gonna snap it up and clap it up for you. But recognize what is happening. Confront the truth in the situations, right? But keep fighting for yourself. Keep fighting for yourself. See, learn when to push and learn when to pull, right? But also learn when to do nothing. To just chill, relax, keep your poise, and keep your spirits high and your eyes on the future of what it is that you want to do. I recommend that you keep your eyes on the present, but remember why you're working towards that present, right? Why are you working towards this thing? But when you're acting in your present, you get gifted with things. This is not some myth, some mythical stuff that we're talking about. When you are acting in the present, you get gifted with things. Okay? So if you really want to receive a gift, when you're in your relationship with people, authentically be vulnerable right now, right here. Don't care about what they say. Don't feel no way about how they might think about you. Don't think about that. Just be authentically you, because the people that's meant for you will be here for you. The people that's meant to serve you will serve you. But if you are unaware who is who, then you just saying anything to any and everybody. But guess what? The January 25th Aquarius is the day of destiny. So when you were born, you were destined for greatness. When you were born, you were destined to shine. When you were born, you was destined. But see, when you look at the word destiny, you can find something in there, and it's the letters I-N. I-N. In. So you got to do the inner work. It's the inner work. It's the inner work. You worried about the validation of the external, but it's the validation of the internal, right? So this Aquarius of January 25th, love yourself. See yourself as great, because other people do, but you don't. When people give you compliments, don't backslap them or don't reject it. Say thank you. Say I appreciate it. Say received. And if you want to give it back to them, say it's reflected. Right? But overall, understand you are talented, you are interesting, but the weaknesses say that you are self-defeating and unstable. So when you stop defeating yourself, you will become stable. And you don't have to worry about that stress. You don't have to worry about that anxiety. You don't have to worry about that depression, because nothing can stop you. All right. If that was helpful for you in any way, let me know. If you got some feedback, what I would love for you to do, take a screenshot, put it on your Instagram stories, and give us a summary, 1 to 3 words or a sentence about what this allowed you to discover. But put it into the chat. Like, was this a breakthrough moment for you? Did this help you in any way, or were we just talking about things that you already knew? Let me know. Put your birth date in the chat. Put your birth date in the chat. If you want me to share what your birth date reveals to you, put your birth date in the chat. If you want me to reveal what your birth date says about you, put your birth date in the chat. So once again, the reason why we do this is for a few reasons. The reason why we do this is because you have what you have in your life because of the things that you already know. However, You're not where you want to be in your life because of the things that you do not know. So if we share what you could be unaware of just being born on a particular day, it could help you navigate the trials that you're going through right now. Think about it. Think about it. I want y'all to think about this. There's certain things that are taking place that you are unaware of. Just because you were born on a certain day, because this whole entire world is a frequency-based world. That's why when babies come through that portal of life, when they're born, they are yelling and crying because these new frequencies that are tapping into their ears, this is all distracting. The new frequencies that they feel on their body, this is all painful. This is brand new. So when you're going through your metamorphosis, your change, your transformation, you will experience some frequencies that may be irritating to you. You may experience some discomfort in your decision making. You may experience some distractions when you're looking to be focused. You may want to multitask, but you should minimize multitasking. Why am I saying all of these things? Because we're trained to be for what's against us and against what's for us. I used to be against learning about this stuff because I thought I didn't need it. The only time I ever saw astrology and saw signs were at a Chinese restaurant, literally. And during the pandemic, I started to realize when I have my friends speaking about this, how much this means to people. And if I have the ability to break down concepts and give perspective that shows people to think differently and have them see difficulty differently, then I'm doing them a disservice if I'm not also breaking down information to something that they see as important to them. So this started to become important to me because as I read about my birth chart and I seen the same thing, I said, wow, this does apply to me. And if I can just get out of my own way in this aspect, then guess what? I'm more aware. And when I'm more aware, I have more consciousness. If I have more consciousness, I grow. As I grow, everything that's around me grows. That is the hack. That is the cheat code to success, y'all. That is the vehicle that allows you to get what you want. When you realize that when you work for you, everything else works for you. When you work on you, everything else start working around you. It's when you're not working on you, things seem to see like they're not working. It seems hard. It seems complicated. But I want you to think about that in your own world. What is that like in your own world? You may just hear me speak, but think about it for your own scenario. When you are experiencing struggle in your life, you are out of alignment. When you argue with your significant other or your friends, the reason why you feel upset is because you know that you are out of alignment. Anytime we ever get upset is because something didn't go the way we think it's supposed to go. If we are aware of that, then we don't need to get upset at things anymore. We don't need to argue anymore. And that alone cuts out all of the drama, half of the drama that's in our lives. All right? That's why we're doing it. So once again, put your birth date in the chat. Put your birth date in the chat. I forgot. I done had Chipotle, and now it's cold. I literally just came back from the store before I got on this live, and now my Chipotle is cold. Because I think I've been on this live already for 30 minutes. What's up, Lewis? What's up, Lewis? What's going on? All right. What's that? April 15th? Where's Lewis at? Let's see. All right. If you want me to go through your birth chart. And wait, hold up. What was your name, Goddess? I think I was talking to a queen before, right? Whose birthday was I doing earlier? The ambitious type, Miss Brown. Okay, what's your name? What's your name, Miss Brown? Let us know. I don't know if y'all follow me or not. I don't even know how anybody's getting here or not. I think I still need to do some work on my account because I don't see anybody on here on a regular basis for the last, well, how long has it been? 2 days? 3 days? Yeah. 3 days? No, it's been since Friday. That's about 4 days. All right. Twyla, that's you. Okay. So Lewis, we going with you. We going with you, Lou. Oh, you was on the call today? You thinking about joining the program? Thinking about joining the program? You should probably join this program. Not for me, for you though. But you should probably join this program. All right, Lewis. Lewis said April 15th, right? Let's get it, Lou. Let's see what we got. But remember, I need you to type in the chat or send a request to come up. You don't have to have your camera on, but you need to have your audio and just speak. But you don't have to do it that way. You could just stay in the chat, all right? When you say still working on paperwork, what's that? Okay, so you're already inside the program? Oh, I love it. I love it. Love it. Let's see. It's at May 15th, right? Oh, April. It's at April 15th. I found it right now. April 15th. Let's get it. Okay, April 15th. Not April Fools. April 15th. Is it 15th or 15th? Which one? Let me know. All right, so April 15th. This is the Aries of April 15th. We're talking about the day of human definition. Dang. So you might be, you might, just off the title alone, you might be the epitome of what somebody wants. Right? You might be the epitome of what somebody wants. You might be the epitome of what somebody wants. So that's a tall order. You got to be ready to deliver. That's a tall order right there. The day of human definition, like you define humanity. The Aries of April 15th. Let's see. It says realistic to the extreme. Wait a minute. That's a wild statement already. Realistic to the extreme. You say you don't make people happy? Yeah, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out right now. Hopefully you get that legal status going, because I know that's a lot. That's a headache to deal with. Sometimes you can feel anxiety when it comes to that stuff too. So I'm sending you a lot of love on that for sure. Realistic to the extreme. April 15th people are definers of life as they see it. So you create your own vision. You create your own vision, right? So let's see. Once again, it says realistic to the extreme. April 15th people are definers of life as they see it. It is the human condition in which interests them. Like you are interested in people's way of living. You're interested in culture. You're interested in tradition. You're interested in these things, which is what it's saying, right? It says it is the human condition which interests them, in which they must measure, describe, in everything that they do. So that's a gift and a curse, because what that means is that you paint your own picture, but you paint your own picture with other people's colors. Like you paint the picture with other people's colors. We're talking about the Aries of April 15th, right? So when I'm going through this may not be about you personally, but let us know how accurate these things are so we can quantify these stats, right? So when we move over to the strengths and weaknesses, it's going to make us understand a little bit more about what we just read. So the day of human definition, like this is pretty interesting. I think we're going to find more about you right now as we go to the strengths and the weaknesses. So the strengths are you're dominant, you're organized, you're consequent. You're consequent, which is good. You give yourself penalty for inactivities. That's pretty good. Weakness. The weakness is you're judgmental, you're self-involved, and you're restricted. Okay. So by default, you make your own life hard. Just by looking at this, you make your own life hard. Literally, your card has a devil picture on it. I don't know what that means, like, but it has a devil picture on it. I'm gonna bring up my experts in tarot to be able to talk about this, because I can read it for you, but since I don't know any about that, I don't want to get into that because I don't know how to read tarot. So even though it's right here, I could just say it, but that wouldn't make that much sense to me yet. I haven't even gotten into it. And maybe that would be something I do later on, but that's not something I do at this moment. So strengths. I'm gonna be honest, Lewis, you're a red flag. You're a red flag. And once again, when I say one thing, it's also possible that it's the other thing. So just like how you're a red flag, you're also a green flag. Here's why. You're a red flag because of your strengths, but you're also a green flag because of your strengths. So your strengths are being dominant, organized, consequent. So guess what? You make a great friend. You have a great friend. Your friend is dominant. So I know that you're not gonna let me get punked. I know you're not gonna let your girl get punked, right? You're gonna stand up and stand firm in it, and you're gonna stand on what you believe. So that makes a lot of sense. You're organized, which means you can be a good business partner. Hey, bro, you got the files? Yeah, bro, I got the files. You send them over to me. You don't have to worry about looking for it. It's not lost. If we have tasks to do, you're able to complete those tasks in a timely manner. So that's good. You don't like to mess around, so you wouldn't harass somebody just to harass somebody. Like, meaning that you wouldn't antagonize someone just to antagonize them. Like, there has to be a reason why you are doing something to anybody. Like, you're the type that won't hurt anyone unless they hurt you. They mess with you, they got a problem. And the reason why that's also a red flag is because when you equate it to relationships, this is what happens. When you're dominant like that, that means you have to be the dominant one in a relationship. When you're organized like that, if your significant other is slightly less organized, it will irritate you. When it irritates you, it makes you feel like you have to be oppressing to that person. Now, how do I know that? Let's go right into the weaknesses. The weaknesses says judgmental, self-involved, restricted. So we know that you start judging people. We know that if they start doing things that you don't like that they do, you judge them. But like I said, even the weaknesses are strengths because every weakness is just an underdeveloped strength. So when you say that the weakness is judgmental, yes, it could hurt you in one aspect, but it also helps you in the other because you're a great judge of character. So you know how to pick a woman, you know how to pick friends, you know people that you should stay away from, and you know people that you should gravitate towards. That is a good key. Like if you were with a business partner, we know how to put you in a position to succeed. Hey, look, we're gonna let Lewis go out there and be our spokesperson, or let Lewis talk to everybody that's on the floor. Lewis is out there doing a networking event, talking to everybody. He loves it. They love him because he's confident, the way that he's approaching himself, right? So the April 15th Aries can also be self-involved. So sometimes they could be self-inflicting. When situations aren't about them, they make it about them, right? Like now, that could go multiple ways. Like somebody could give you a compliment, but then you jump into the way of the compliment and go, nah, I'm not that great today. You can say, you look amazing today. Well, you find ways to down yourself because of that restricted behavior. Like, in the restriction in your behavior doesn't allow you to explore to get as much new information as possible, but you're changing that right now. Because look, you're up here putting yourself on the line and saying, you know what, read something about my birth chart and let me know maybe that applies to me. And that's you taking that step. So we snap it up, we clap it up for you. So let's go to the advice to see how the strengths and weaknesses play out. So the first piece stands out to me super because it says learn to be more open and accepting. You see that? So your restrictiveness has limited your ability to do X, Y, and Z. So in reality, you'll be a great entrepreneur. But being that you're self involved and you're restrictive and you're judgmental, you might not even think entrepreneurs are successful people. You might think that there's something else. Are you an entrepreneur? Let us know in the chat. Are you a business owner? Do you have a corporate job? Let us know. Let us know. Because remember why we're doing this, y'all. We're doing this to uncover some things that we may not know about ourselves. So whether what I'm saying may be applying to you or not, when we listen to the morals of it, when we listen to the story, we listen to the summary, the advice, what happens is we get these downloads and we can improve our own lives. All right. So that's the purpose of this. So it says learn to be more open and accepting. Watch children and learn from them. Do you have an issue with children? Do you not like children? Like, let us know, because the fact that they threw watch children in there could mean a lot. One of the things that it means is that you grew up early, like you grew up a little fast. Like if you were the this is the situation, y'all. If you are like the oldest child, chances are you have the most trauma. Chances are you have the most trauma, right? If you grew up as the only child, you also probably grew up faster than the rest of the children because you had to watch your brothers and sisters and you had to grow up a little more. So the things that you wanted to do when you were of age to do them, your parents probably didn't let you do that because you had to watch your siblings, right? So that's something to think about. So for you, Lewis, you say you love children, right? So this must be a great thing for you when it says watch children and learn from them. Like, what can you learn from children? It's like already based upon being an Aquarius on May 15th, right? Oh no, you're Aries. Aries on May 15th, not May 15th, April 15th. You're an Aries on April 15th. The weaknesses say judgmental, self-involved, restricted. When it's saying to you as an advice and it's saying watch children and learn from them, what do you think that they're suggesting? Yeah, I know I butchered it. It's right here. April 15th, Aries. Um, the day of the human definition. So let me know what what could you learn by watching children? I used to watch children. When I first came out of college, I was a designated babysitter. My aunt, my sister, cousins, yo, watch these babies. Damn, my pull-out game strong. But not anymore. I got all these babies now, but I don't even know how I did that. I don't even know how I got all these babies now, right? So that's the thought. But tell me what you can learn from children, from watching children. So being that your response is a little slow, I gotta speed it up. The playfulness, the the willingness to be fearless. So for example, most adults say that's too hard, or I don't want to know, I don't want to take time to learn these things, or I can't. But as a child, as a baby, they don't say I can't. Like the child is crawling for how many months before it starts walking? If it falls down X amount of times, but it still gets back up, right? He or she still gets back up. But when you grow up, for some reason, we kind of give up. When we grow up, for some reason, we kind of have self-sabotage. We kind of love everybody else except for us. When we grow up, we become more restricted. So that's what they want you to watch. They want you to watch how children aren't that restricted. They become restricted by parents, and that's how we grow up with limitations and society's limitations on us. But we want you to be able to look at your younger self and maybe watch your younger self play around and go back to those days where you were small and heal some of those things that may be there. Because the rest of this says irrationality is not always to be feared. Express yourself without fear of rejection or looking foolish. So, in other words, they want you to have more fun. In other words, they want you to stop thinking about other people and about how they view you and start thinking about it like this: going from good to great when good is no longer good enough. So ask yourself that. When is good no longer good enough? I don't know if you've been playing small in your life. I don't know if you got big dreams, but you've been having fear around it. But it says to watch out for that, because if you haven't conquered that yet, you're probably still dealing with it. And you've probably dealt with it in various stages of your life. So if you are still dealing with it, or if you encounter it on your road to success, because you're going to be successful, believe it or not, it it wants you to reject the idea of looking bad. You don't look bad. Reject the idea of failing, because failing is just the first attempt in learning, right? These are lessons. So if you got rock star dreams, put your dreams in the chat. What are you doing right now to get to your dreams? Are you on the accountability calls? Are you holding yourself accountable? Do you join our accountability calls? Let us know. Let us know. What are your rock star dreams? If you want me to read your birth chart and reveal what it says about you, put your birthday in the chat. Put your birthday in the chat. So, all right, being that you're typing or you're doing something right, I want to go ahead and read the meditation for you. And the meditation says, get out of the way. Letting things happen is sometimes the very best thing we can do. say it again for you. So if you have these rock star dreams, you must get out of your own way, because letting things happen may very well be the thing that's best for you. Are you following what is being said right now? Because remember, Lou, I don't know your situation. I don't know what you're dealing with at home. I don't know what's going on. But all I know is this: you exist in this day and age, and you have the ability to be so amazing. The key for you is this: give up wanting so much control. In your relationships, how does your girlfriend feel about that? Are you too controlling? Where you going? Where you going? Like who's texting you? Don't be that person. People can only love you for but so long. All right? Everything is temporary. So if everything is temporary, let's not be so attached to things that may not necessarily serve us in our alignment. Right? So once again, the advice says this, and it says it in full. It says, learn to be more open and accepting. Watch children and learn from them. Irrationality is not always to be feared. Express yourself without fear of rejection or looking foolish. Have fun. That is your role for the rest of the day. Have fun. And somebody come to you with some seriousness, look, have fun. Why? Because your weakness is judgmental. If they say something that is like out of alignment, just think about it as comedy and have fun. Like play along with it, because everything that exists in your world exists at the same time that other people think their things exist. So for example, how much money would you like to collect in the next month, the next year, next day? Put it in the chat. Whatever that amount is, you probably should believe that somebody's making that in this very minute. Forget about the year, forget about the day, the hour. There's people who make this in the minute. Because literally that's all that takes is a transaction to hit your account in 1 minute. All right. So once again, this was the Aries of April 15th. I know I said May. I know I said a whole bunch of other stuff. Aquarius. I done butchered the whole Aries name. So forgive me, Aries. All right. You are the day of human definition, the Aries that is born on April 15th, and meaning that you have a high quality of power already, but you must get out of your own way. You must get out of your own way. If this was helpful for you in any way, take a screenshot, tag me on your stories, share it, share with somebody else. Maybe there's a friend or family who would like to see or reveal some blind spots to themselves. All right. All right. So it's 1:55. We're getting ready to close up. All I know is that if you're listening to this, you're the best of the best, the top of the top, the cream of the crop. I know it, because otherwise, why would you be on my channel? You're the 1%. Why would you be on my channel? Because you know that you're going for greatness. I don't have anything else on my channel other than empowerment. So I already know that you're the best of the best, because if you're looking for that information, if you're getting that type of quality, then guess what? It's just a matter of time before you get all the things that you're asking for. But you got to work on you so everything else works for you and with you and through you. All right? So snap it up, clap it up for you. Snap it up and clap it up for everybody. Twala, you've been on the call, so that's been good. So you're going to be on there tomorrow. And, make sure you do the homework tonight. Make sure you're in class and really just go hard. Like, take your notes, but every day we want to go over those notes and put ourselves in the best position for it. I also will be going over compatibility with signs and which potential signs could be soulmates, right? So I want you all to be aware that the more you recognize that you don't know, the better your life can be, because you're going to learn. And when you learn, you earn. And when you earn, you have the ability to enhance everything else around you, right? Like if you got your money up, you could go, and you don't like living in a cold weather state. If you got your money up, you could move right to a tropical area, right? If bills are an issue to you, but if you started to see difficulty differently and seeing that you could work higher and not harder, then guess what? The same amount of effort that you put in to get the money that you get now, you can get more money, and then you can pay those bills and not have to worry. But first, you got to think that you can. You got to believe that you can. All right. What does it say? This is not the first time you have given me great advice. I appreciate you, King. I appreciate you 100%. 100%. Remember, I'm not doing this just for me. I am doing it for me. I'm not doing it just for me. When I realize that if I do things for me, I do things for we. Because if we ever talk about me, we talk about maxing everything. If I max out my potential, I'm going to, by default, help other people. All right? So as we get ready to close up, snap it up and clap it up for yourself. You are amazing. You are whole. You are complete. I'm quite sure whatever you put into this chat has transformed somebody else's life because you're giving your own story on something that somebody else could be dealing with. And that is why I appreciate each and every one of you for putting words into this chat today and making us have a good video. This video will be out on YouTube. The video will be out in obviously Instagram, and just keep continuing to go. Keep being the person that you know that you need to be. I'm leaving now. I'll see y'all soon. You're the best of the best, top of the top, cream of the crop. Mindset Mogul. Peace.